Green Arrow.
Wrong guy.
I'm a big fan. You failed this city.
I'm not that person anymore.
There aren't any heroes in here.
Breaking news out of Star City this morning that the vigilante known as the Green Arrow has returned.
Oliver Queen is in prison.
Then there's another psycho in green leather who assaults people with a bow and arrow.
We have reason to believe that a vigilante is impersonating the Green Arrow.
Not fighting back has never been what you're about.
I have always done what I had to do.
Sometimes people just need something to believe in.
I want to get back to my family.
He can't help you.
Arrow. All new episodes Monday, October 15th on the CW.
Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 7. So Arrow is not far away, and I for one am on the edge of my seat with anticipation. And going into this season, there is some big questions to be answered. The first one is of course being around like, who the hell is that crazy son of a bitch going around Star City posing as the Green Arrow? It will be very interesting to see whoever the hell that ends up being. And of course the other big question, for those that stay up to date with like articles and news on Arrow or just my channel in general, is around who will be seen in prison with Oliver. As we know, Brick, Bronze Tiger, and Derek Sampson will all be former villains that will be showing up again in Slabside Prison with Oliver, and you know, making his day-to-day activities not the most easy. But thanks to a Reddit user known as General Merlyn, great name there, we have a general idea, or could have a general idea, on another person to look out for. They have posted their theory on Reddit, which I will go over, and then also post some other possible options mentioned by some of you guys on previous videos. But I will leave the link to General Merlyn's post in the description down below on Reddit for those that are interested. So as per usual, when I go over another theory posted on like Twitter, Reddit, or another site, I'm just going to read it word for word, because that's how it's meant to be, I guess. They're typing it out like that. And then we'll go over some of the points after. So yeah, here we go. So the common assumption has been that the mystery Green Arrow is most likely Roy. And while it does make a lot of sense, it's also predictable. They keep talking about how you won't be able to predict Roy's role in this season. And while this could just be PR speak and it could mean nothing, the extra emphasis on secrecy this season leads me to believe that whoever's in the Green Arrow suit is someone bigger. Not sure who that could be, but what I can tell you is I think I know what Roy's really up to this season. So, in some interviews a couple of weeks back, we didn't really get too much of substance about the new season. However, amidst all of that, there's one quote that stands out. We already know that we'll see Bronze Tiger, Brick, and Derek Sampson in Season 7. Can we expect any other familiar faces to pop up this season? And this is Beth Schwartz, the showrunner, saying, yes, there will be another familiar face in prison, but I'm not going to say who. There's also a similar quote from Stephen Amell. He's in prison with a bunch of people that he basically put there, and I would say that Brick is kind of the ringleader of the group, but the things that Oliver discovers about some of the prisoners I think are a little bit unexpected for the first part of the season. And there's a couple of interesting employees in the prison, and there's also an inmate that I don't think Oliver ever thought he would see again. Beyond the three villains we've already seen in the trailers, there'll be a fourth returning character with Oliver in prison. However, notice how they don't specify that it's a returning villain. This means that it could actually be an ally of Oliver's. And isn't it interesting how one of Oliver's greatest allies is returning this season, but in a role that's shrouded by mystery? That's right, Roy is in prison with Oliver. I mean, if you think about it, one of the biggest questions when it came to Roy's return was, why isn't he with Thea? Him being arrested, presumably because Oliver confirmed he was still an associate of the Green Arrow, even if he wasn't the main guy, would be the perfect excuse for why he's not with Thea. Of course, this leaves the big question, if Roy's in prison with Oliver, why doesn't Oliver help him break out? We've seen that Oliver has his own reasons for not breaking himself out, but why would he really not help out a friend? It's possible that Oliver really thinks the safest bet is for them to lay low, but that feels kind of cheap. I can't say I know the exact answer to this question, but perhaps Roy's also grown a similarly cynical viewpoint about his situation to Oliver. I mean, he's got a beard now, so we know this is going to be a somewhat darker take on him. I think if Roy is in prison with Oliver, they're definitely going to reveal it in the second Season 7 trailer. There's usually a second trailer that has footage from most of the first half of the season for Arrow that comes out just before the new season starts. I can't see them not showing that Colton's back somewhere in there. Now just quickly, this is Pagey back reporting, this isn't General Merlyn speaking. Just in regards to that trailer, I'm not 100% sure we will get that just because of the whole secrecy thing. Like in the past seasons we've got it, which shows like up to like episode 5 roughly. You know, Stephen Amell usually posted on his Facebook page first, and then like YouTube and stuff will get it. I'm not 100% sure if we'll get that. If you want to spam Stephen Amell on Twitter and ask him if we're getting it, then fair enough. But because there's a lot of secrecy around this season, a lot of like big question marks on certain characters, they might avoid uploading that type of trailer, but we might get it, you know, the weekend or the week before Arrow's back. We'll have to wait and see. Now, if you do go to the Reddit post, you will see that a decent amount of people do agree with this theory, and I have to be one of those as well. Like the points that General Merlyn pose are really good. Now, of course, I'm not saying this is definitely what is going to happen, and this is exactly what will go down. If it doesn't happen, then you should like send an angry letter to the showrunner or something. Of course, I'm not saying that. However, there is one point that your boy General Merlyn didn't mention that is of great support and importance to this theory, and that is that Colton Haynes joined late for the filming of episode 1. From memory, he was there for like 1, maybe 2 days before they all flew down to San Diego for Comic-Con. So what is his short time in Vancouver for episode 1 filming? Was it a reveal scene in prison? Colton Haynes also did say at a recent convention that he wasn't allowed to shave. Now that being said, he didn't have like a beard like Stephen Amell. It was like basically stubble, like maybe a bit longer than stubble. But it's pretty random that he wouldn't have been able to shave it. I mean, Roy has never really rocked facial hair on the show before. Now, obviously, that short time in Vancouver could have been for a reveal scene of him as like that imposter Green Arrow or something. So do keep that in mind. But I think it would be much cooler if Roy was in prison with Oliver and less predictable. Even though we're talking about now and it could spoil it for you, I think everyone just thought that the Green Arrow imposter was Roy. I think that was the top option. So it would be cool if they did chuck a twist in there and he actually is in prison with Oliver. And as I said, those points that General Merlyn poses make a lot of sense as to why he would be in prison. But let's go over some other possibilities that people are presented as people that could be reappearing in prison with Oliver as his like other mystery inmates. Of course, if I don't bring up someone you think is plausible, let me know in the comment section down below. But as I said earlier, these are all from other people in the comment section of a previous video sort of on this topic. So one that I saw a decent amount was Helena Bertinelli, which would be a cool return. Like I think a lot of people want to see that character return. However, it is an all-male prison, at least where Oliver's going to be. So unless she has like cut her hair like short and like stuck some fake facial hair on, I really can't see this happening. Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, was another common one that appeared, and this would be an interesting dynamic, but I couldn't really see this happening. It's quite unlikely. People did point out that Manu Bennett, who plays Slade Wilson, was in Vancouver around the time they were filming some early episodes of Arrow this season. I'm not too sure if it was episode 1 or like episode 2, 3, or 4 or something like that. However, he was just stopping off on his way back from Europe, I think it was. So I'd have to say there's no filming of Arrow there. Like I'm 99.96% sure. I'm pretty sure he was just stopping over in a hotel before he could get another flight. Adrian Chase, aka Prometheus, through a vision or hallucination of some form, was a very popular submission by some, but we did get that last year, and that was like one of the better episodes last year. Don't get me wrong, I love me some crazy Adrian Chase. Give me some Josh Segarra and Arrow back again, I'd love it. But yeah, we got it last season, it would be a bit too similar. It'd just be like repeating the same stuff. And I don't know if there would really be a situation in which Oliver would get to that point where he would be, you know, having hallucinations or visions of Adrian Chase. I think there's other stuff on his mind that would take precedence. And the last one that was actually, surprisingly to me at least, the one that was upvoted and commented the most, and that is that the person in jail is Malcolm Merlyn. Now, there are unfortunately a few things that go against this. I say unfortunately as it would be cool to see him show up again, but, you know, one, we are led to believe he is dead, even though we didn't see a body. Like, you always got to, like, make sure you see a body before you can confirm it as a death, but, you know, he should be dead, I think. And also, John Barrowman, who plays Malcolm Merlyn, was off doing, like, heaps of conventions and shows and stuff during the opening of this season. I don't know his exact schedule and whether he, you know, could have gone to Arrow to shoot, you know, a day or something, but I really couldn't see him, you know, getting there and doing this. Yeah, it just doesn't seem likely to me. But yeah, as I said, that Roy theory from General Merlyn is a really solid one, and I think a really good one, and a very plausible one. So feel free to go to that Reddit post, upvote it, leave your thoughts there. Would be greatly appreciated, and maybe tell him I sent you. Or tell him that I sent, yeah, tell him I sent you. I think I worded that correctly. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on the stuff we went over in this video. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.